Shalom. I'll start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushua Bashem Kakwadash. Double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to all the fellow laborers of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Salutations also to the Akwaf, the believing sisters that are also subscribed, listening, and learning. Shalom, word thumb. And this just came to me in the spirit, as I was reading through the scriptures. The furnace proveth the potter's vessels. And we know that the time that we're getting ready to face is just going to be a time of trial, but we all are going to be put through the test. Now it tells us in Zechariah, the 13th chapter. Now we know what it says in the 8th verse. It basically tells you that in all the land that 2/3, 2/3 are going to be cut off and die. The Lord's going to drop the 2/3, but he's going to bring the third, which is the 1/3, and they're going to be left as that remnant. And he said that he will bring the third part through the fire. All right. Now, I extrapolate that to mean that when he says I will bring the third part through the fire, it means literally that he's going to put you in that affliction. He's going to put you in that trial. The Lord's going to bring you out because he's going to be the one that's going to put you there. So the hell that we face and the hell that we're going to face, moving forward into the time of Jacob's trouble, that's the Lord actually putting us through it. So we're going to go through it no matter what. And there's nothing that none of us can really do but just, live according to what the Lord had actually put into us. And what did he put into us? He gave us the blueprint. He gave us our ammunition. He gave us our armor. It says to put on the whole armor of the Most High that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. All right. We got to put on the breastplate of righteousness, the helmet of salvation, the shield of faith. That's what we're going to need when we go through that fire. And it's all been provided for us through these scriptures, through the comforter. That's another thing that we have. We have comfort because the Lord assured us that once we go through this, that we're going to make it out. He even told his disciples, in the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I overcame the world. And the Lord, he's the author and finisher of our faith. He already went through the humiliation. He suffered the contradiction of the sinners. He was persecuted. He already went through his trial. So we got to go through ours as well. Because like as the Lord told his disciples, the servant is not greater than his master. So the Lord is ultimately going to put us in that pressure cooker. And with a pressure cooker, you can, turn the heat up. You can turn it down or you can turn it up. Well, the closer we get to the end, the Lord's actually going to turn up the heat on that pressure cooker. And he's going to leave it on and see how long you're going to stand the test of time. And those that come out of it even more firm, even more strong, even more pure, you're going to be the ones found worthy. Because he says that you're going to be refined like silver is refined. He said, I will try them as gold is tried. You see? So he that's going to bring us through the fire is who's going to put us in that fire. Now let me get real quick. Let's go to Isaiah 48 in verse 10. And it says, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. All right. So the Lord actually is going to choose us. He's going to select us, which, Lord willing, we are that number, the elect. He's going to choose them and he's going to put them through that furnace, already knowing that they're going to come out, you know, uh, uh, pure. All right. You're going to become an even more substance of value. All right. Because you're going to go through that pressure and it's going to take off all those impurities and the filthiness. It's going to take that away from you, man. He said, I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction. And the affliction is basically, what we got to deal with, man, the troubles, the miseries, you're going to take losses. Like for example, for, certain brothers and even sisters, a lot of us are going to lose our occupations. You might have a profession that, gives you the ability to be able to sustain and provide for yourself. Well, you might end up having to lose that because the scriptures tell us, we got to lose our life for the Lord's sake instead of trying to save it. Because the Lord said, he that saveth his life shall lose it. You know? So a lot of us are going to have to make that decision when the time comes, just to, stay loyal, to stay steadfast. So that's going to come with affliction. You see, it's not going to be an easy thing, but the Lord's going to put you through it, but he's also going to watch over you as you're going through it. And he's also going to be there to guide you through it as well. And that's what you have to keep in mind. Okay. Now let me get another precept. Let's go to Psalm 66 and starting at verse 12. Matter of fact, let me start up. This is Psalm 66 and verse, um, I start at verse 10. It says, for thou, O power, has proved us, meaning tested us. Thou hast tried us as silver is tried. Thou broughtest us into the net. Thou laidest affliction upon our loins. So ultimately, it's the Lord that laid these afflictions upon us. Just like he put those afflictions upon Job. He chose Job into the furnace of affliction. He made that pact with Satan to actually bring Job into that process. He brought him under the fire, man. All right, I mean, is it not written that the Lord he direct the steps of men? We don't understand our own way. So sometimes we get brought into situations out of our control, but we still have to face it. The Lord said, when you come to serve him, prepare thy soul for temptation. And you gotta, once you deal with that, the, it said to, set your, you know, set your heart right, man, and constantly endure and make not hasten in time of trouble. All right, it says, verse 12, it says, thou hast caused men to ride over our heads. Meaning we had, many battles, you know, we didn't have men, rule over us, with rigor. The Egypts, the Babylons, the Greeks, the Romans. We got rolled on as a nation, and even to this very day, our enemies are still, over us. It says we went through fire and through water. So yeah, we didn't went through the hell. We didn't went through the affliction. We didn't caught hell as a nation of people, you know, and through water. We done been through many different battles, floods, Floods of armies, waging war against us. And then the waters is getting ready to flow again. Esau and his military, Esau and his troops, because the scriptures say he lived by the sword. And it tells you in Isaiah 59 that the enemy shall come in like a flood. But guess what? Even through it all, the Lord's still going to bring us into that wide place. It says, Thou hast caused men to ride over our heads. We went through fire and through water, but thou broughtest us into Slakia, but thou broughtest us out into a wealthy place. All right, a land flowing with milk and honey, man. Riches, substance. And that's what we're getting ready to inherit again. Once we go through this fire, once we go through this tribulation, we're gonna come out with great substance, just like in ancient Egypt. But not in the sense of us, we're gonna actually take physical spoils out of Babylon, because Babylon is gonna be totally wiped out. That means that we're gonna come out, as precious jewels. The Lord says He's gonna make the men of the Lord more precious than fine gold. We're gonna come up out of here having spiritual bodies, glorious bodies. We're gonna put on immortality. And then we're going to be brought back to our land that's going to be flowing with milk and honey. We're going to have abundance. It's going to be fruitful again. We're going to have riches. All of the forces and the wealth of the Gentiles is going to be converted and translated over to our possession. So it's work. This trial or this fire that the Lord's going to put us through is going to be worth it. All right. It even tells you that in the New Testament. Let me go to 2 Corinthians. 2 Corinthians 4 and 17. And it says, For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, right? Which is that the fiery trial that we're gonna go through, is just but for a moment. Especially in comparison to eternity, man, where we're gonna get the kingdom, we're gonna get paradise forever and ever, man. It's gonna be so beautiful that this current world is gonna be passed away. It tells you that in Isaiah the 66th chapter or the 65th chapter that this world is this present world is not going to even come into our minds. We're not going to even remember it. All right. So it says, For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, or this current society, Babylon the Great, Esau being in power, the nations being over us, things being out of order. That's all temporary, man. The hell, the tribulation that we getting ready to go through, that's going to be temporary. The Lord said He's going to shorten the days for the elect's sake. All right. It says, but the things which are not seen are eternal. All right. And the things that we don't see is actually what we believe by faith. Because what is faith? The substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We have faith that we will rule, that we will have a kingdom, all right, that will never fade away. It's going to be a world without end, all right? And that's what we put our focus to. So even when we go through this hell that we getting ready to face, our mind is still going to be set on the kingdom. That's the victory. That's the destination right there. And that's what we should be thinking of, just as an ease of comfort. All right. These people in the world, they think this is it. That's why it's gonna bug them out because they want to hold on to what they seeing around them. This is the end all be all for them. But us, we already know that this is this shit gotta go. All right, the end of this world is the beginning of our kingdom, the beginning of eternity for us, man. All right, so the Lord's gonna put us in the fire. All right, whether you choose or not, we got to go through it. But the Lord's gonna watch over us, and He's gonna direct us through it. Let's get Isaiah 43. This is Isaiah 43 and 1. It says, "But now thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Yasharallah, fear not, for I have redeemed thee. I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine." All right, so the Lord is he's claiming his woman, man, and that's Jacob, that's Israel. It says, "When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee." Hey, that reminds me of when King David said, you know, if, when I'm in heaven, thou art there. When I make my bed in hell, thou art there. Meaning, no matter what the condition is that we're currently in, the Lord is always present, man. That's why in all of our ways we must acknowledge the Lord. He's always there, man, showing signs. It says, "When thou passest through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers, they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon thee." You see? So, hey, he's gonna be right there, man, guiding us. He says, when thou walk through the fire, thou shalt not be burned. All right? These people out there, they're gonna be burned. And I'm talking literally too. But the Lord's gonna bring us through the spiritual fire, which is the furnace of affliction, the furnace of adversity. And we're not gonna be burned by it. All right? Like just like the three holy children, man. Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego. They went in that fiery furnace and they ain't even burned. The Lord worked a miracle. That was divine intervention to the dismay of the king, and he was like, "Whoa!" And then the men that actually turned up the fire, he ended up getting burned. But those three men, they were down there, and the fire didn't even touch them. They didn't even smell like the smoke. But that's spiritual, because in the midst of this, the Lord's gonna be with us, man. Okay, so that's just to keep a positive mindset. Like the brother's been saying, we got to speak life, man, because the world is drawn to death. All right, our tongues, it let me get the scripture real quick. I believe it's in Sirach 38. To talk about how the tongue have power over life and death. So you want to make sure you speak in life, man. I think it's in Sirach 39. Let me go to 37. Now, bear with me while I find that scripture. Since I mentioned it. Yep. Sirach 37 and 18, it says, "Four manner of things appear, good and evil, life and death, but the tongue ruleth over them continually." All right. So whatever you speak, that's what is going to take precedent in your life, man. So if you speaking evil and you speaking death, that's all that's going to come to you. But if you speaking good and you speaking life, then guess what? So it's the same with, entering into Jacob's trouble with this positive mindset that the Lord's going to bring you out of the fire, because that's what he said he was going to do. He said, "I will bring thee through the fire." Okay? Because the Lord had chosen you in the furnace of affliction. Okay? As a matter of fact, going back to Psalm 66, it says, hold up. Actually, let me go back to Zechariah, the 13th chapter. Zechariah 13 and 9. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read it in the other translations. And this is the NLT translation. It says, "I will bring that group through the fire and make them pure. I will refine them like silver and purify them like gold. They shall call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, these are my people, and they will say, the Lord is our power." The NIV translation, it says, "This third I will put into the fire. I will refine them like silver and test them like gold. They will call on my name, and I will answer them. I will say, they are my people, and they will say, the Lord is our power." All right. Eastern Standard Version, "And I will put this third into the fire and refine them as one refines silver and test them as gold is tested. They will call upon my name, and I will answer them. I will say, they are my people, and they shall say, the Lord is my power." All right. So the Lord is going to put you in the fire. You see? So what is and what is he going to do? He's going to bring us into that net, lay the affliction upon us, and he's been preparing us. We've been girding up the loins of our mind for this moment. You see, we've been waiting for this moment, man. So there it is, man. So now we're going to be offered like a burnt sacrifice to the Lord. All right, and guess what? Once you make it through, it was accepted. All right, so let me get a couple more precepts, and then I'm gonna just close out. And this is Acts 14 and 22. It says, "Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of the Most High." So we got to go through it. We have to. And we know that, that chastening is not going to be joyous in the moment, man. Because we already know this devil is going to be real petty. He's coming down with that great wrath. You know, we're going to have certain brothers in them, the concentration camps, what they're going to call quarantine centers or whatever they want to call it. We know that they're going to try to, starve, starve people out. That's not complying with their new world agenda. He's gonna make it that much more, difficult to move. But we know that the Lord said He's gonna when the world, when the wicked of our people, when they start getting to starving and all that, we're gonna have abundance, man. The Lord said, "My servants shall eat, but you shall starve." You know, so we shouldn't even worry. The Lord's going to be with us through it all. All right. This is Apostle Paul to the church of Thessalonica. First Thessalonians 3 and 3, it says that no man should be moved by these afflictions, for yourselves know that we are appointed thereunto. For verily, when we were with you, we told you before that we should suffer tribulation, even as it came to pass, and you know. All right. So we gotta go through it. But guess what? On the bright side, we're gonna come out of this furnace, and we're gonna come into that broad, wide place, which is what? The kingdom, the city on a hill, man. We must suffer the straight to enter into the wide. Second Ezra is the 7th chapter. This is Job 36 and 16. It says, even so would he have removed thee out of the straight into a broad place, where there is no straightness, and that which should be set on thy table should be full of fatness. All right, so the Lord's gonna, bring us up out of that, and He's gonna bring us into that broad place, which is the kingdom, where there ain't gonna be no straightness, there ain't gonna be no crying, no sorrow, no pain, no poverty, no oppression. All right, and He's gonna give us the fatness of the earth. And that's going to be the reward for coming out of the great tribulation. This is Revelation 7 and 14. It says, and I say unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, these are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed the robes, so like you washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. Showing you that Yahushua is worthy, man. All right, showing you that he's going to redeem us. It says, therefore are they before the throne of the Most High Power, and serve him day and night in his temple, and he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat. For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them into living fountains of waters. And we're gonna have we're gonna have it all, man. And the Most High Power shall wipe away all tears from their eyes. All right. And we're not going to remember our sorrows anymore, because this world is going to pass away. All of the evil shit that Esau would have done, that's going to be that's going to be in the past, because Esau is going to finally be in the fucking ditch. He's going to be in the dirt. He ain't going to ever be in position of power to be able to afflict or oppress no one. All right. His kingdom is going to be destroyed, and he's going to be a slave. All right. So, these are things to look forward to, after we come through the fire. The Lord's going to bring us up out of the fire. All right. So, that's pretty much the lesson. And I hope this was edifying. I'm give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Shai. And to the next lesson, Shalom.